Welcome to Redbeard and the Den of Tools. Howdy ho, guys and gals. I'm Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again here in, well, actually the tool department here at Milwaukee. And I've snuck in here to tell you guys why you want to avoid Milwaukee at all costs. They are probably one of the worst tool systems to invest in, and I've got for you the top 10 reasons why Milwaukee sucks. Number one on the list: their M12 line of fuel drill drivers and other power tools. Yeah, this is kind of hilarious for the bear. I know I did a video recently comparing the DeWalt, the Harbor Freight Hercules line, and the brushed version, or the non-fuel version, if you will, of the M12 series. And I had a bunch of people, knuckleheads chime in being like, well, you need to compare it against the M12. The M12 will blow it away. And when I point out the fact that, the M12 is more powerful, and it also costs twice as much. That's like saying, well, your Ram 1500 beat out my, Ford F-150, but you should compare it against the Ford F-350 because then it'll win. I'm like, yeah, and it costs twice as much. That's not a valid comparison. Even still, the funnier part is that's like saying, why would I drive a 3500 if I'm just driving around town and picking up stuff for the house and that kind of stuff, doing light duty work? That's kind of a joke. And the same thing applies here. The whole reason to go with the 12 volt system is because you don't need or want the power that you get in an 18 or 20 volt system. Yeah, there's a lot of trades out there that really rely on the 12 volt systems. I'm talking like electricians, I'm talking installers, HVAC, low voltage guys, all of them. They drive a lot of screws. They have to make small holes. They're using these tools all the time, but they don't need that kind of power, nor often want it, because it's too easy to damage the piece you're working on if you've got too much power at your fingertips. So why would you then buy a lower power tool specifically for that reason and then supercharge it? What is the point of that? It's like saying, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy, myself a nice little hatchback there so I can get great gas mileage, and then, tunerize it, put a turbo on it, and cant the wheels and everything else. Oh my gosh. What are these people smoking? Anyway, next on the list is the laser thermometer gun. Oh, I can't stop laughing about this one. These things are a dime a dozen. They've been out for years, so Milwaukee decided they needed to get in here, and they're going to do it by, offering they try to justify this price, I should say, by offering a wider range of temperature assessments. It'll go down to like -40 and up to something like 1200, which is, honestly better than, 80% of the other $30 tool or thermometer infrared contactless temperature guns out there. I said, well, the $30 ones, because for $38.99 you can get this one. I actually have it. And it goes, now I know you read it there, it says, well, it only says -122 to 800. Well, that's actually a typo. That F is actually supposed to be a C if you read down in the specs of it. Yeah, that's Celsius, folks. Yeah, that 800 Celsius, that's 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. This thing will go colder and hotter than the Milwaukee gun at 1/3 the price. Oh, and it's got this really cool light spectrum thing that it does. Kind of showing you, there you go. You can see, because it's not really a laser that's going out. The laser is just to help you find the area you're looking at. But it's a cone, and the further away from the gun, the bigger the cone. So this actually shows you how big a cone area you're looking at in the Milwaukee. Who else does that? No. A $38, temp gun is blowing away the Milwaukee's. What was that price on that thing? Oh, the $125. Oh my gosh. Oh, and before you guys try to chime in with the, well, we need, really clear scientific readings, and that's the reason why we go with the Milwaukee, because, buy once, cry once, and we're going to, use this professionally, and if you are using a thermometer like this in a dedicated professional manner, you're using a FLIR. Case closed. You lose. Oh, if you think that was funny, check this out. $60 for a 16-inch red stick box level with SharpSight vial technology. I thought, oh, well, maybe they crammed some cool tech in there. Maybe it's got like magnets on it, like super neodymium magnets, and it'll hold on to like a metal stud, and I can walk around, slap it on, and back off and take a look on my cell phone and send readings. No. It just means the glass is clearer than most other glass. I can't make this stuff up, guys. That's $60 for a 16-inch level. Hold on. Hey, Alexa, what's 60 divided by 16? 3.75. You're paying $3.75 a foot on a level. Oh, and this thing? Yeah, the magnetic one. This one isn't the magnetic one. You need to pay $10 more to get the magnetic one, and it still doesn't have any actual quote-unquote technology built into it. Oh my gosh. Next, we've got the M12 12-volt lithium-ion Hacksaw, or as people online like to call it, the Hacksum. This thing is a gutless little tool. I'm sorry, but you know what? I was joking before about, why would you supercharge something and go with the fuel version, which is their, higher-end brushed motor or brushless motor. This is one case where you would, because this thing couldn't cut through butter. It's a lot of people joke and say you get better cutting if you just use it as take the battery out and use it as a handheld hacksaw. This thing is ridiculous, and it's the one case where you would have to upgrade to the fuel one. But if you're going to spend that kind of money for the fuel one, why not just get a full-size Sawzall? Okay, yeah, you're the 0.015% of people who need to crawl into a small space and use a high-powered, single-handed, cordless, powered hacksaw. Great, good for you. Moving on. All right, of all the tools here that I say that suck, this is the one that's supposed to and doesn't. You can't make this stuff up. Oh my gosh, an M12 12-volt lithium-ion cordless compact vacuum tool. You know what? Moving air, physics-wise, if you understand physics, moving air is one of the hardest things you can do because you're putting force against all these tiny little atoms. There's nothing cohesive and all likes to spill off to the side and everything. Well, if you think pushing air is hard, pulling air is even harder. And on top of it, as you start pulling stuff through the system, it starts getting clogged with particulates and dust and whatnot, making it even harder. So let's step down to a lower grade power source. Oh my gosh, this thing just, I don't know what Home Depot has done to rig their star system and make this thing show up as getting 4 stars out of 229 views. Maybe there's 229 people who all work at Milwaukee. But if you go online and you read any of the actual reviews from like people in the forums and stuff, everyone hates this thing and it's a joke. I've held it, I tried it. I don't think it could suck up a golf ball. Next on the list of losers. Oh, yeah. Chargers. Well, yeah, here we got the line of Milwaukee 18-volt and 12-volt chargers. Unfortunately, the only thing these things are really good at charging is your wallet. Yeah, you've got the first one up is the automotive charger for $99. Now, look, this is just a base level charger, a $60 charger, that they're charging you an extra $40 to put a 12-volt plug on. Like I couldn't go out and buy a $20 inverter and do it myself. This is highway robbery, and honestly, if I'm not mistaken, it's easier because you're charging a DC tool. So you're going from 12-volt DC to 12-volt DC, or stepping it up to the 18-volt. Whereas you're taking 110 and converting it to DC. This should technically be a cheaper charger, and it's $100 for the convenience factor. Then we got their rapid charger at $80, which in itself is a joke and highway robbery. But the $60 base charger is insane. A base charger for that. But I will say this, at least all these chargers, these first 3, will do both the 18-volt and the 12-volt system. This last one is for those of you who just have the 12-volt system, and you just need a 12-volt charger. I mean, honestly, how much can it really cost? $50 is apparently the answer to that. Oh my gosh, for a 12-volt charger, $50. Now I know a bunch of you are sitting there going, "Oh, screw you, Barry! I can get this on sale." Blah blah. It goes on sale all the time. You know what? So does everyone else's chargers. So when you look at the base price when they come down, I'm not gonna hunt down every single sale to show you guys. But if this thing goes on sale for 20% off, so does everyone else's. So if they're starting at $99 and everyone else is starting at $80, when it goes on sale, guess what? Theirs are still cheaper. It's called economics. Pick up a book. Oh my gosh. Fanboys. I gotta love them. And speaking of their battery system, oh my gosh. Milwaukee, whereas DeWalt finally, acknowledges, okay, we want to do a cordless system for, stationary power tools, but they're going to require more power. So let's come out with, this FlexVolt 60-volt system and give them the juice that they need. And Milwaukee's like, hold my beer. I can do this with the battery system we already have. Oh, no, great. I'll give them this. It's a nice, tidy little package. It's a well-made system. It's got all the little bells and whistles you would want, and they managed to do it with just the 18-volt battery. But guys, this is like the dude who's single and 65, and he's doing the comb over because he doesn't want to admit that he's going bald. It's like, just shave it off, man. We can all see it. There's no life left in that dude. The 18 volts, they're done. They've had their time in the sun. We're all moving on. There's 40 volt systems. There's 60 volt systems. There's 128 volt systems out there. Everyone's stepping up, and you guys are sitting there clinging. Talk about bitter clingers. They're clinging to that 18 volt system. And look at the price they're charging, $500. They're clinging with gusto, aren't they? Oh. And speaking of batteries, man, they are enamored with their batteries. Look at this thing. $100 for a 9.764 3 amp hour. $100 for a 3 amp hour battery. Oh, you're making DeWalt look good at those prices. Holy crack sandwiches, Batman. This is the point where I normally say something witty and banter about it and everything, but they beat me to it. I mean, look at it. I got nothing left to say about that. All right, so why is Milwaukee so enamored with their batteries? Well, the reality is that they have a patent on lithium-ion batteries. And not just lithium-ion batteries, it's lithium-ion batteries in tools in the nominal 18-volt voltage range. Yep, they figured out that people were switching over to lithium-ion batteries and everything, and they were starting to show up in tools, but it was mostly in the lower-end electric screwdriver kind of stuff. And they realized that all these NiCad battery packs everyone was making were going to switch over to 18-volt systems. So they figured out, they looked at the size of the battery, said, okay, well, in that size battery, you can fit 4 cells. That's going to be 18 volt nominal. And they rushed to file a patent on it before anybody could launch their tool system. And they did. And somehow they must have paid their lawyers a lot of money, or some judges or some patent attorneys or something. But somebody gave them this despite the obviousness of it. And for those of you who don't know, that is one of the trials that they use to figure out whether something's patentable, is how obvious it is. And the fact of the matter is, putting batteries, lithium-ion batteries in a tool, there's already lithium-ion batteries. They're already putting them in tools. They didn't get a patent on that. They got a patent on 18-volt lithium-ion batteries. I often wonder if that's the reason why Cobalt chose to go with 24-volt systems. Because, by throwing one more cell in there, they got to bypass having to pay Milwaukee a royalty. And guess what? Everyone else does. Everyone. If you make an 18 or even a 20 volt max, because it's the same amount of cells, the same nominal voltage, you're paying a couple bucks per tool or more to Milwaukee for the privilege. Which is probably why they're so desperate to hold on and try to keep 18 volts I can't even talk about it. Revenant? Yeah, that's kind of more appropriate, isn't it? Oh. And that kind of leads into the discussion of who Milwaukee really is. I mean, here we've got this time-honored, tested tool company out of Milwaukee. I don't know what it is in the water up there. They've been making great tools. A lot of great tool companies coming out of Milwaukee since the early 1900s. And here's, Milwaukee Tools leading the charge. Great American tool company that has actually founded in, where? Oh yeah, Hong Kong. Now, they're not a zombie brand per se like DeWalt is. A zombie brand is somebody who died, was dug back up, and they took their label and just put it on something else that had nothing to do with the original company. DeWalt never made power tools like this. They only made radial arm saws and a few other stationary tools, but really just radial arm saws. They never made hand tools. So DeWalt is a tried and true zombie brand. Now, Milwaukee is more like a demonic possession than a zombie. They actually made hand tools. They were still in business making handheld power tools and doing this sort of stuff when they got bought by TTI. TTI, for those of you who don't know, they also bought the rights to Ryobi in the United States, the rights to Rigid's consumer cordless level of tools. They have AEG over in Europe, which in reality, if you don't know, they then turned around and that's how they made the Rigid stuff. It's just the AEG stuff. Same color and everything. They just replaced the words AEG with Rigid. And they bought Milwaukee, which is the feather in their cap. And they got a great deal by signing exclusive rights with Home Depot, which is the largest hardware chain in the U.S. And, and that's how you got Milwaukee Tools today. Yeah, and they do have an American headquarters in Milwaukee, and they did build, I think, one plant or so down in Louisiana, and they are starting to build more stuff here, but they don't build nearly as many tools here as they could. In fact, one of the great websites you should check out if you want to find out more about what tools are actually made in the U.S., check out this site here. It is allamericanreviews.com, and they talk about a lot of different companies, and they talk about DeWalt and Milwaukee and stuff, and they talk about whether it is actually made in the U.S. Now, whereas some of their tools are, the vast majority of them are not, and they could be making them here, but they just decide, instead to put the money in their pocket and make them overseas. Now, at least they're not doing what DeWalt does and try to badge them with Built in America. Just so you know, the Made in America, that label, that's a protected label. And if you violate the terms of that label, you will get your paw slapped and slapped hard. But Built in America was internationally sourced parts, yeah, that's not the same thing. And that's why DeWalt came up with that little turn of phrase. Everyone thinks it's the same as Made in America and that it's protected, and they couldn't lie about it, right? Wrong. It's not the same thing. The feds won't crack down on it, and they can pretty much make it mean whatever they want it to mean. That's the sad truth. And unfortunately, Milwaukee, could be leading the charge, but has decided not to. So that is the final nail in the coffin as to why you should never buy a Milwaukee tool and why they're one of the worst tool companies out there, and you should avoid them at all cost. All right, you think we cleared out all the fanboys? I think they're probably in fits on the floor, frothing at the mouth by now. So if you made it this far in the video, congrats. You're either not a fanboy and can think for yourself, you just are enamored with the stylish and handsome bear that I am. It's all right, ladies, I understand. Or you are just really seething and hate the bear and online right now applying for your bear hunting license. Either way, fact of the matter is, this was just some good-natured ribbing at Milwaukee's expense. To be honest, I'm actually quite a Milwaukee fan. Now, that isn't to say that the stuff I said before wasn't true. It's all true. I may have, exaggerated for theatrical, I can't talk today. For drama's sake. Oh my gosh. But anyway, the point of the matter is this. The one thing I really hate is fanboys. I hate anybody who thinks that you should choose the type of tool for the job based on the color. It's not a sports team, all right? That's where your fanboyism should come in. Whether you root for the Raiders or whatever, if you're into sports, that's where you should be a fanboy. Or whether you want to, be one of those folks who follow, what is that? I think my daughter reads Twilight, whether you're team werewolf or team vampire or whatever. I don't care. That's where fanboyism, comes into play. when it comes to tools, we're doing jobs with these things, and it's always about the right tool for the right job. In fact, any of you who follow the channel for a long time know that actually I'm a big fan of Big Red. Just the other day, somebody asked me in one of my live streams, said, "Hey, Red, if you're starting out in the trades right now and you're going to invest in a tool line to be a pro, what would you do without dropping a beat?" I said Milwaukee. Milwaukee is where I would go. I know a lot of people like to try to claim that Bear is a Harbor Freight fanboy. And I'm a fan of Harbor Freight for what they're trying to do and what they are getting done at the price point they're getting done. I'm a big fan of those Hercules tools, and I'm really surprised what you can do with the Bauer stuff and a lot of the other things they have there, especially their hand tools with the lifetime warranties. That ability to walk into a store and just get something instantly replaced. There's a benefit in that. If I was a pro and I had a job where I didn't need a vast array of tools, just a drill driver, an impact, and, maybe a circular saw and stuff, I'd probably go with the Hercules line because, as good as the warranty is with Milwaukee, and it's an excellent warranty. Everyone always talks about, well, they got DeWalt's got a 3-year, and Milwaukee's got a 5-year, and Ridge's got a lifetime. All those warranties are great, but they're not worth a penny if the company doesn't stand behind them. The other thing is, what does it take to use that warranty? Well, with most of them, you have to send the tool off to a service center or take it in, and then they take time to fix it. And that time can range from 2 weeks to 2 months to 6 months. And in some cases, they may send it back saying, nope, we're not going to fix it, or we'll fix it, but we think you did damage to it, and you're going to have to pay for it. You go into Harbor Freight, if you're making money with that tool, you walk in, if you got that extended warranty, you slap it down on the counter, say it died, they go, okay, grab another one. You come back, they ring it up, you walk out not having paid a cent, and you're back on the job. There's value in that. Now, that's not for everyone, which is why I don't tell everyone that you should just go out and buy that. When somebody says, hey, I'm going to get into being a general contractor and I need all these lines of tools, what should I get? And I immediately say, go Red. That's just the way it is. Yeah, they should get more sensible about their batteries, and the vacuums do suck, and I think it's a joke to have a lower powered tool that you amp back up. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, whole point is, this is a tongue-in-cheek jab at all the haters out there, all the fanboys, and I love the people who like to comment after they've watched 2 minutes of video and think they already know the answer to everything. So be sure to keep your eye on the comments section. Grab your popcorn, sit back, watch a spell. Why don't you throw the Bear a like and a thumbs up there? Maybe share the video with one of your Big Red or even DeWalt fans and watch them froth at the mouth. Oh, it's going to be a good show. So sit back, relax, have some good fun, and as always, shine on.